Hello, and welcome to episode 89 of the Pos-cast with Rabbi Shmuel Posner and myself, Seth Hellman. Rabbi, how are we doing today?
I'm fine, Baruch Hashem. Good Chodesh and a Freiliche Chanukah.
Chodesh.
A lot of energy.
Yes.
It's a busy weekday davening this morning because...
Right, you have Torah. Well, so how does the Torah reading work?
Oh, we'll get to that. So first of all, it's full Hallel.
Right,
like
which is it not normally on Hanukkah?
Well, on Hanukkah, it's always full, but Rosh Chodesh is not full.
Oh, okay, right.
Chodesh we usually leave out. So it's full Hallel, and then Torah reading, you have to take out two Torahs.
Mm-hmm.
One for Rosh Chodesh and one for Chanukah.
So is it the same number of aliyahs, and then you do the, like, you have to bunch things together, so like you read through?
Yes, exactly. So here's how it works. In the Rosh Chodesh Torah reading, you call up the first guy, gets 3 aliyahs.
Okay.
But then that paragraph, so to speak, only has 5 psukim in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you repeat the third pasuk, and then you do the next 2. So you have 3 over there too.
I'm going to pull this up.
Good. Stay tuned as we bring you up today's Torah reading, Rosh Chodesh and Chanukah. So normally on Shabbos there's 7 people called up plus the Haftarah, so that's 8. On Yom Tov it's 5 people plus Haftarah. On Yom Kippur it's 6 people plus Haftarah. And on Rosh Chodesh it's 3 people. No, on Rosh Chodesh it's Monday and Thursday it's 3 people, and on Rosh Chodesh it's 4 people. On Chanukah it's 3 people. On Rosh Chodesh it's 4 people called up to the Torah. So you're going to do 4 people today as well. So here we go. So you have Pasuk 1, Pasuk 2, Pasuk 3.
So these 3 right here?
Those 3 are the first aliyah. Then you go 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so you do these 3 for one person, and then the next person gets these 3?
3, 4, and 5, yeah.
Okay.
And then, because on a normal Rosh Chodesh, then you have to have 2 more aliyahs, right?
Right.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the next aliyah. And if you look
at the next, they read all 5?
No, here we go. First aliyah, 1, 2, 3.
And 3. Yeah.
Second aliyah.
Second, 3, 4,
2,
and 5.
3.
Oh, 2, 3, 4.
3, no, 3, 4, 5. Next aliyah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because it's all one subject. If you look in the Chumash, you'll see more clearly how like it's
right.
Like in the Torah, there's breaks. Like the breaks when you separate either that many, like a bunch of, or you go to the end of the line open. And so then the last aliyah, the 4th aliyah, will be Uvrashe Chacheich. I'm starting from, scroll up a little. 1, so you do, I don't know. Go down. Scroll down, I meant.
Just give me a pasuk line. Just give me
Oh yeah, we're starting from 11. 11,
yeah.
12, 13, 14. That whole part is about till here, till 14.
That's right here.
No, I'm sorry, 15. 15 is the end. So it's 11 to 15. So that's the 4th aliyah. So now scroll back to the top. So on Chanukah, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the end of the first aliyah. And then the second and the third will be the same as the third and the 4th. That's the first. Yeah, then goes the second and the third. Correct. Second and the third. So the second starts 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's number 2. Number 3, 11 till 15. Inclusive. 11 to 15.
So you repeat
No, you don't repeat
this
anything.
pasuk.
So on when you do only 3 people getting called up, there's no need to repeat. The only reason you have to repeat is because you have 4 people.
So
And you can't
you
break
do
up.
1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15.
Yes,
Okay.
excellent. And then you do, if you want to pull up the Torah reading for Chanukah, that goes back to when they inaugurated the Mishkan, right? Hashem told the Jews to build a Mishkan, which is a temporary portable Beis Hamikdash, similar to the Beis Hamikdash sanctuary in the desert. And then the 12 tribes brought presents, gifts to the Mishkan and sacrifices. So the same thing also, Chanukah comes towards from, lechanech means like to inaugurate. It also means to educate, but it means also to inaugurate. So we're inaugurating the Beis Hamikdash after Chanukah, after the Greek Assyrians had had plundered the Beis Hamikdash, they cleaned it up and rededicated it. So we read the dedication of the heads of the tribes. Here we go. And so on the first day of Chanukah, we start from here.
Well, sorry, this is the first day. I had moved it to the 6th day because that's
Torah.
yeah,
Okay.
Rosh Chodesh.
So the whole introduction, and then now keep on scrolling down. And this all talks about how like sort of the introduction. Then, whoops, where did you go? Go back down. No, go down. Go down. Down. That's the end of the first day.
Oh, yeah, that's the first portion, I guess, of the first day. Let me show the complete.
Right. Yes. Then you read about what each tribe brought. Here, no, go to the next part.
Okay. That's as far as it went. Oh, there we go.
Oh, Vayhi Makriv. So the one that brought on the first day. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, go down a little bit more. 6, 7. So you have enough here for 2 aliyahs. So now scroll up. No. Stop there. So on normal Chanukah, 3 people get called up. So you do 12, 13, 14. Then for the second aliyah, scroll down some more so we can do the second aliyah. Oh, there's the third. Oh, so on the first day you have the whole introduction. Go to the next day. Go to the next day.
Day 2 here of Hanukkah?
Day 2, day 2. So then day 2 we'll see how it's split up. So day 2, you have 1, 2, 3. That's the first aliyah. Then the second aliyah continue 4, 5, 6. No problem. But now where's the third aliyah? So the third aliyah you read the second day and the third day. All these, because you have to have 3 aliyahs. So you continue to the next day's reading. And the whole this. So each one of them exactly the same. I mean, a couple of words different, but it's basically the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 aliyahs, 6 psukim there. You have to have at least 3 sentences, 3 psukim for each aliyah. So you do the first, the nasi for the day is 2 aliyahs. The nasi for the next day is the third aliyah. So altogether you have 3 aliyahs. Now on Chanukah, that's on Rosh Chodesh, we already called up 3 people. So all we do today is we read only the nasi for today, 1 aliyah. So that will be day number 7. And we'll see day number 7. Oh, so day number 7, here we go. We have the first aliyah is Rosh Chodesh. The second aliyah, continue, go down. The second aliyah is also more Rosh Chodesh, and the third aliyah more Rosh Chodesh, and then we roll up that Torah, take the second Torah, and you have now by the 7th day, and that's it. Now tomorrow we have 12 tribes, so the first aliyah will be the same thing. The first part of number 8. No,
this is the
first part of number 8, the second part of number 8. That now we're done with tribe number 8. Then the third aliyah is 9, 10, 11, and 12. And not only that,
This is a long one.
then it's stop. Then after that, there's a whole bunch of psukim that talk about how much was the total of everything all the 12 tribes brought. So go all the way down. No, you're going up. Oh, and now, and then we go into, that's the end of Parasha Nasai, the second Parasha in the book of Bamidbar. And then we go further where it talks about Aaron lighting the menorah in the book of Bamidbar, Numbers. So that's tomorrow will be along, the third Aliyah will be tribe 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the summation of all of them together, and the little bit of Aaron lighting the menorah, because that was his participation in inaugurating the Mishkan. And it's also connected to Chanukah, so it all is all very beautiful. So that's about the Torah reading on Chanukah. You know what's funny? So Chani doesn't have school today. My wife doesn't have school today, so she's home. So I told her at 11 o'clock. We're recording this on Wednesday morning. It's 11 o'clock. So I said to her, 11 o'clock I have to record. So she said, "What are you going to talk about?" I said, "Chanukah." And I have notes here.
Is that on an envelope?
Yeah, I have notes. Well, what I should talk about, and I didn't dream of talking about the Torah reading, but there we go. So Chanukah is a Chabad holiday. I think I read there's like 15,000 public menorahs around the world. I don't know how they came up with that number, but somebody probably did a count of some sort. 15,000. And it started out 50 years ago was the first time. So they have a picture somewhere. If you can check it out, probably on Chabad.org. Or like this little wooden, like this really, this wooden menorah that's like 3 feet tall that they lit somewhere in Philadelphia. The shliach there, Rabbi Shem Tov, went there and lit a menorah in public. They hung out for a couple of hours. And thus was born the public menorah, which was a big, big court case because people, there you go. Oh, beautiful. The birth of the Chabad public menorah 50 years ago. Check out the article, guys. That was it. That was the first public menorah. Now you have these humongous things that cost tens of thousands of dollars. But the thing was, there was a big opposition to the public menorah lighting. You know by whom? You would say, oh, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hindus, the this,
Jews.
the that. Of course, the Jews. And this past year, there was 2 major people. You can look at the names; don't matter, who were like totally against it. It was basically those. It was outside the Orthodox circles. Let's put it that way. That they said, no, we shouldn't be doing it. We shouldn't be making public thing. And there was a rabbi in New Jersey who had opposition. He wrote to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe wrote back to them. Obviously, he didn't write it himself. He dictated a 6-page letter, which is incredible. Typed letter. Now, that even though the Rebbe didn't write it himself, obviously, he gave the general ideas to the secretary. But then he read every letter he read every single word and make corrections. Sometimes it has to be retyped, explaining why the public menorah lighting, A, is a good thing for the Jewish people, and B, why it's an American thing. And that was where the phrase come that in America, it's not freedom from religion, it's freedom of religion. It means we're free to practice our religion. And the Rebbe argued that having religion in a public place that isn't sponsored by the state should be no problem. Everybody should have the ability to express their religion on public property. Equal time for everybody, whoever wants to. And that's what you'll see. Like you have the holiday stuff that comes around this time of year. It's all over the place in public places. So you can have a menorah as well. Of course, we don't want to have the menorah like put next to a tree, like as if they're somewhere connected. But the idea of having equal access shouldn't be a problem. And the Rebbe argued that it brings Jewish pride, a number of points that he brought out in that letter, why it's a good thing. And these guys that protested 50 years ago, now they said, oh, we made a mistake. We were wrong. Because you see, I don't know what their problem, but in Pittsburgh, there was actually a Supreme Court case in Pittsburgh. That was something that happened in Pittsburgh. This letter to the Rebbe was just a local council in New Jersey, whatever town it was, Teaneck or Tenafly, that they were against the public menorah. The Rebbe wrote a letter to them. But then it went through the court in the Pittsburgh menorah case. It went through the courts and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the lawyer was Nat Lewin, who was, we'll talk about Hay Tavis in a second, but Nat Lewin was the lawyer. And he was the on-call guy for cities around the United States for decades who had issues with government, with cities, towns, whatever, saying that there's no, legally you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And he said he would always have to say, no, according to the Supreme Court, absolutely allowed to do it. So that's how Chabad started this whole thing about public menorahs. Then came the menorahs on the cars. And then the car menorah, we had a menorah parade here organized by Sheila House of Brighton, Rabbi Dan Rutkin, very active guy, Baruch Hashem, and not only in his own place, but does a lot of things citywide. We had a menorah parade. I think it was like, probably in the news it says 100 cars, probably about 50, 60. And went all the way from Brighton through Brookline, all the way downtown and around. It was amazing. It was amazing. So Chani and I were in the car, rolled down the windows, calling out Happy Chanukah to everybody. But yeah, it was a beautiful thing. And Chani and I were we went to Hamden for Shabbos to
Connecticut?
Connecticut, yeah, where our daughter has a Chabad house there. Very, very cute. Because it's a small town. I mean, there are a lot of activities, they're always doing stuff. But Shabbos was like, they had a minyan. It was like, it was an interesting minyan, as you can imagine. And yeah, it was nice. But on the back of my car, I have a menorah in one car, but we had the other car. It doesn't have a menorah, and I put with the sticker that says Happy Chanukah. So we're driving down the highway, and this person next to us is like waving. I said, Chani, who is that? Who is that? He said, you drive, I'll look. So I'm driving down and trying to catch up with them and keep on waving. We don't recognize who they are. So I roll down my window to get a better look. Oh no, Chani said, I can't see who they are. Roll down your window. I guess it was raining or something. I roll down the window and they roll down the window. It's Happy Chanukah. We said, Happy Chanukah. A young couple. I don't know I couldn't see if he was wearing yarmulke or not. It was such an amazing thing. Again, Hashgacha Pratis, HP, you're driving down the highway. I don't know how many people saw, but this one people actually, connected to us. I don't know who they are. But there you go, the little Happy Chanukah. And it's so easy. So Chanukah lends itself to that because you can put a menorah in your car, you put a Happy Chanukah things. Everyone knows Chanukah. But this is like something very big that the Rebbe pushed. And in front of the Chabad house, we have this huge menorah that we usually put in Kenmore Square. So a woman once came into the Chabad house a couple of years ago, and she asked, "Why is the menorah out in front of the Chabad house? It's not Chanukah." So I said to her, because the menorah symbolizes what Chabad is. Chabad is to spread the light outside. Even in the Beis HaMikdash, where the menorah was lit in the Beis HaMikdash, but the point of having, the Gemara says, why did they need a menorah in the Beis HaMikdash? Hashem doesn't need light, and there was light. It was daytime when they did the services there. And it says it's a sign that Hashem dwells amongst the Jewish people, because they would light the menorah, and one of the candles they lit, one of the it wasn't candle, whatever, the oil goblets that they lit, would burn till after all the others went out. They would, and the next day they would clean out all the others, get them ready, and then put that one out, and then get that one ready, fill up the oil again, light it again, and so that one lasted. It was lit first and went out last, even though it had the same amount of oil. So it's a sign that Hashem dwells amongst the Jewish people. But the point of the menorah was, it's a sign that Hashem dwells amongst the Jewish people, and that the world should know that. So the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash is to give the light going outside. There's a Gemara that says that the windows of the Beis HaMikdash it was stone, right? There was no glass there. So normally you have it narrower outside, and then the light refracts, spreads out inside. The Beis HaMikdash was the opposite, narrow inside and wider outside, to show that the light of the Beis HaMikdash goes outward. So light from the Beis HaMikdash goes outward. What was the obvious source of light? Was the menorah. So the menorah, even the Beis HaMikdash, represented the light for the outside. Surely our menorahs are specifically meant to publicize the miracle. That's why people light their menorahs either in their window, but the Gemara says you should light it on the doorway of your house outside. So of course that the point is that people should see it, presuming nisab, to publicize a miracle. So lighting a menorah not in your house, you don't fulfill the mitzvah. It says Pesach Beisei Mebechutz, the doorway of your house, which is also interesting. What it's telling us is you don't just take light and put it outside. It's going to be light from your house going outside. So actually lighting a menorah outside on its own, if it's public menorah lighting, then you can make a bracha, but it does. No one has fulfilled their obligation. You have to light your menorah in your home, where you're living, if you're traveling, where you're staying, where you're living on the road. But just randomly lighting a menorah somewhere doesn't do the mitzvah. So it has to be in your house, but the point is the light goes to the outside. So the idea of spreading the miracle is definitely done by having public menorahs all over the place and having car menorahs, whatever, any other way you can do to publicize it is fantastic. And so Chabad captured that, made Chanukah like a Chabad holiday. Obviously a holiday for all Jews, but you go around, who's out there putting menorahs? And I was looking on something about, in a listing of events, Chanukah events around Massachusetts. And I saw all these not Chabad, definitely not Chabad, not even Orthodox temples, synagogues, having public menorah lightings. And these are the people that were suing the whole court case was Jews against Jews. The Supreme Court case was from these not halachic Jews, not halachically practicing Jews, who said like, oh no, this is not a good thing. We shouldn't be publicizing who we are, blah, 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 all that. And they realized that was just the opposite. People love seeing it, especially when there's all these other holiday decorations all over the place. And when we lit the menorah downtown last week was Wednesday night, right? When we lit the first light, and like a couple of hundred people. Okay, in the newspaper probably say 500. A couple hundred people are there. And I was going around trying to give out menorahs to people. Most of them had. In other words, even though they had a menorah at home, they were coming to be part of this public celebration. It's because it's a sense of pride. You feel good and the kids see it. And of course, they got the Chanukah Geltas, music, the whole thing. It's a fantastic, beautiful thing. So that's what Chanukah is all about. Today's January 1st. So everybody was doing their fundraisers until today, right? Like end of year, and then people are sending in donations like yesterday and the day before to get the tax deduction. Guess what, guys? Start early for next year. Give your tax deductible donations to your local Chabad house or wherever you give it to. What do you have to wait till December 31st, 9 o'clock at night to get in before midnight or whatever you think? Or start early. It's a mitzvah. You get the mitzvah and the tax deduction. You don't have to worry about it at the end of the year. That was a not paid for. When will we have guests? I'm trying to read my notes and I don't remember what I wanted to say. But tomorrow is Zeis Chanukah. That's the last Torah reading starts. Zeis Chanukah Sabayis. This is the dedication of a Mishkan. This is the dedication of the Mishkan. And so the Rebbe talks about that and says tomorrow is known as Zeis Chanukah. Ask anybody. It's called Zeis Chanukah. So simply because the Torah reading has that Zeis Chanukah, which means this is Chanukah. So the Rebbe has a long, fascinating talk, like why, and his special energy. Chanukah has a lot of special energy. I want you to know that. Very mystical stuff, even though it's not a Torah holiday. Like there's so much mystical stuff going on about Chanukah. I was just talking to Chani's grandfather, her mother's father, had like this tradition of saying a verse of Tehillim 7 times on there's just so much Kabbalistic stuff about the Chanukah candles. Anyway, but even though it's like, people say, it's a minor holiday. There's nothing minor in Judaism. Do me a favor. In fact, that's the whole point the Rebbe says, that there's two directions. God and the Jewish people have a two-directional relationship, right? From above to below to above. Right? So it's either something coming from Hashem to us, like Torah. Hashem gives us the Torah, we learn it. Or it's us davening to Hashem. We're trying to reach and get closer to Hashem. We're doing mitzvahs. So Hashem gives us the mitzvah, then we take our stuff and do the mitzvah with it. So sometimes you see more of an emphasis of realizing this is from Hashem. Then sometimes more of an emphasis, This is what we're doing to get connected to Hashem. Chanukah is more, we try to get connected to Hashem. And where do we see this? Like we said before, Chanukah is not a Torah ordained holiday in the written Torah. And it's even like Purim, they had Mordechai and Esther, the Gemara said they were prophets. The miracle of the story of Chanukah happened in the second temple, the latter part of the second, the mid to latter part of the second base of Mikdash. There was no prophecy. So it's really a holiday coming from below. It's about us, what we're doing. And then this translates into understanding the disagreement of whether we start lighting 8 candles the first night and then 7 the second night, etc., or 1 to 8, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. And so that also is the same idea. Who are we trying to emphasize? As far as Hashem is concerned, 8 is the first night. Here, the miracle is going to be for 8 days. It's potentially for 8 days, but Hashem, potential means it's going to happen. It's going to be there. This is what we're planning to do. We're ready to do it. Or you can look, no, in actuality, this is the first day, do 1. So what do we have? So far, we have 1 day. So on Chanukah, we're emphasizing what we have, what we do. And so that's why when you have all 8, we say, this is Chanukah. Chanukah is having everything expressed, everything actualized. And that's why we have to think about Chanukah, the holiday. Maybe people are getting like, oh, another night of Chanukah, I don't think so. I think it's a fun holiday. But the point is, keep the light of Chanukah alive. The message of Chanukah, to spread light, to be a proud Jew. I mean, it's so great to be able to have a menorah in your car and you drive around and some people like honking the horn, like, what did I do wrong? Like, no, they're honking because they give like a heads up for the menorah. Mm-hmm. So take that idea of being proud to be a Jew, publicizing Yiddishkeit, the Chanukah story, keep it going a whole year. And that's so let me tell you. So in Hamden, tell you 2 things. One of them about my grandson, our grandson. He's like, his bris was Erev Pesach, so that means next Pesach, which is not too far away, he'll be turning 2. So Kanai Nahari, beautiful kids. All my grandkids are amazing. All of them. That's a fact. But when they're really small, they're great. So
when they're really small, they're great. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, they're great because it's the cutest thing. I was like Chaya's oldest son, Mendy. He's like into sports a little bit. So his cousin bought him a football. Huh? So I played football with him, and he went.
You threw a football?
He threw the football. No, Mendy's the oldest. He's like 6 or 7 or something. I don't know exactly.
But what I'm saying, did you just say that you threw the football with him?
Yeah, we were playing catch.
Oh, I would have paid money to see this.
Next time we'll have spectators. So he doesn't throw it overhand. He sort of throws it like
the under. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was a great throw. So that was. But so on Friday night we're having Shabbos dinner, right? So this little Levi is like, give me. He starts saying, I don't know how he said. He didn't say give me, but he went shishi. I'm like, what is shishi? Because the bottle of grape juice, he knows that you say yoy ma shishi.
Okay.
So he calls. So the whole meal, I want shishi. So it ranks very high in the cuteness thing, but it's also so profound. His way of identifying with grape juice is yoy ma shishi, which is so beautiful. Like he recognized that it's connected. I don't think he knows what Kiddush is, but he knows that Shabbos. So as he knows Shabbos is connected to grape juice, that he knows what Shabbos is. He sees everything special. And that's why kids retrain. Like they identify things with the Jewish content of what it's all about. Grape juice is shishi. Anyway, that was something I thought was interesting. That's that. Yeah, so the minyan was a great minyan. Little, a collected group of people, like some young guys. Oh, yeah. There were these 2 guys that were brothers, that were home for college. And they said something about, they went to Begisha, and they talked about the scary Farbrengen. Like, what are the scary Farbrengen? I said, "That's Maria to Fabrengen." He said, "Oh no, last year we stood in the, our shliach told us about the scary Fabrengen, so we stood in the back so you shouldn't see us." I said, "Oh, come on, it's not that scary." And then I hocked them to go to yeshiva, to go to Morristown.
Naturally.
Right.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
they got the Pagisha Fabringen experience anyway, because that's what you would do if you saw them at the Fabringen.
exactly, and it wasn't scary. Maybe it was a little scary, but it wasn't like too many. I don't like make a big announcement in front of 1,000 people. I just like talking to them. Anyway, so that was interesting. That the scary Fabringen. Okay, I think we're gonna have. So of course, every time I travel, I run into people. The shliach from Pennsylvania, who's an avid listener, he said to me, I said to him, "What are you doing in New York?" He said, "Oh, because usually he goes to Toronto. I guess his wife's from Toronto. When they have breaks in school." He said, "Oh, my mother lives here." I said, "Oh, that's a good idea." And then he said to me, "What am I doing?" And then he says, "Oh, I guess I'll have to wait to hear the Pos-cast to find out why you're in New York." So actually, I was in New York because my father lives in New York, and I lit Chanukah candles with him. It was very beautiful. He got up and he was able to light the licht and everything. Yeah. So yeah, we were in New York because this is so in Hamden. I spoke a little about the Fabrengen. So my son-in-law Moshe says, very happy. My father-in-law Chai's father is here, and one guy calls. He's here for Shabbos. First time I'm there for Shabbos. Somebody calls out finally. So I said, my dear friend, let me tell you why. Because there's break because the university is off, but Hanukkah doesn't usually come out exactly in the time when university is off.
Right.
And it always comes. So right, no Hanukkah. So Hani has off from teaching in the yeshiva for a few days during Hanukkah. It happened to coincide exactly with the weekend that nobody's in town. So I told Chacham, that's why I was able to, Hanukkah started the 25th of December. So she was off on the next day from school, from teaching in yeshiva. There was nobody around town. There wasn't going to be a minyan or anything. So we were able to go there. It was a great experience. It was wonderful. And we'll see if we'll ever be invited back or if we can ever, the calendar works out. So that's why we're there. And he said, "Oh, we're talking about the Pos-cast," and he says we should have more guests on. So maybe we'll try to dig up a couple of guests. Anybody
It
wants to
does feel
volunteer?
like it's been a while since we've had one.
Yeah, we should get a couple of guests. I have a couple people in mind, but I'm not going to, spill my hand right now. Anybody thinks that they're worthwhile to be a guest on the Pos-cast?
We got to start getting Posner family members on the Pos-cast. We've only had we had your brother, right? And that was it. Do we have anyone else that you're related to?
Do I have anybody related to?
No, like I'm saying, as far as guests that we've had in the past.
Oh no, we haven't had any. No, we haven't had any guests.
Well, we had your brother.
Family, no. Oh, my brother. My brother's the only one.
Right. That's what I'm
and
saying.
My nephew with the name in. Yeah, we can mine the Posner clan to get some interesting Pos-cast guests. Okay. So anyway, bottom line is 8 is beyond nature. Tonight we're gonna light 8 candles. We should. And my daughter is visiting in Israel. She went there for a week. She's coming back, and she lands in Boston. She has to fly to New York from Boston. She wants to get an earlier flight than she originally booked. So she said she'll be on the wait. So they'll let her change the flight for $1 gazillion, or else just be on the wait list. I said to her, "Okay, we all are on the wait list to get on the plane to go back to Israel with Mashiach now, mamish."
Amen. And with that, thank you so much for listening to episode 89 of the Pos-cast with Rabbi Shmuel Posner. We will see you next week.